welcome. I'm so excited to serve you today. And if it's the first time you're visiting my channel, I create videos to transfer my knowledge and information I have regarding resources and tools you can utilize to improve your life, personal life, to improve your career, and to assist you in business as an entrepreneur. Today's topic is 4 skills that you need to master in order to become an effective communicator. And you may ask yourself, who benefits from effectively communicating? And I'll say everyone benefits. You can utilize the skill in your relationships, so spouse or companionship, as you engage your children, in your work life if you're an employee or business owner. Every area of your life requires you to communicate. So if you master how to do it effectively, you will be closer to accomplishing success. So join me, come on, let's learn together. Okay. First, I want to properly define effective communication. So it's not just speaking blah, 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 right? Effective communication is the transferring of information between 2 people or more in a way that that information is clearly understood. And by clearly understanding, or to be clearly understood, it means that all the emotion that you wanted to pass on, your intentions are all received by the person. It also requires that you listen in a way, not just to respond, but listen in a way to gain full meaning of what the other person is saying, and so that the other person can feel as if they have been listened to or heard, and the other person feels understood. So when you tick all those boxes in the communication or in that whole circumstance, you have effectively communicated. I know I promised that you're going to learn 4 skills, but before you can learn 4 skills, the 4 effective skills or the skills that you need to master, there are 5 things that you need to stop doing, both of us. The first thing is that you have got to stop losing control of your emotions. We cannot communicate effectively if we're always becoming crazy. We have to understand speaking through our emotions, and sometimes those emotions are really deserved. You know what I mean? It's like you deserve to be angry at that moment in time. You deserve to feel maybe jealous, enraged, whatever it is. It's like you feel as if, you know, whatever the person did, that was the appropriate response. But if you want to get that person to understand where you're coming from, if you want to accomplish something in the conversation between you and that person or persons, you have got to take a hold of your emotion. So that's the first thing that you've got to stop doing. You and me both. I do that sometimes. The second thing is that the lack of focus. You've got to be focused. If you're having a conversation with someone, you have to be there. You cannot be in the past when the thing happened. You cannot be in the future, preparing for what's going to happen. You have to be present, because if you are not present and you're not focused on what's happening, you will not be successful in communicating what you want to communicate to that person. The third thing is that inconsistent body language. You have got to line up how you're presenting yourself and ensure that it's in line with what you're actually saying. You cannot be saying yes. That's not conveying that you're saying yes, right? Your body language is doing a different thing from what you're actually saying with your words. And negative body language. So inconsistent meaning that you're saying something positive and your body is doing something negative, or vice versa. You're saying something negative but your body is doing something positive. And the last one is just overall negative body language. You have to be respectful with the way you carry yourself, and even if you want to be taken seriously or if you want to be taken in a neutral manner by the other person, you cannot be negative. You can't shake your head and all these negative things that we do. It turns people off from listening to us and wanting to find a solution. And last is that We have got to stop here. We're hearing, but we're not listening. Listening is a skill that you're going to have to hone in, not just communication, but your other things that you need listening for, like proper listening. So you've got to listen to understand, listen to hear all of the information that you didn't know before, but not just to react like you just want the person, you just listen for the word that's going to trigger you so you can reply. No. So we got to get rid of those 5 things. Skill number 1, you need to become an engaged listener. And I struggled with listening, or I struggled with stop hearing and stop listening to react. I had to calm myself, lock myself while the person speaks and clear my mind, clear my temper, clear everything so I can hear. And you know what happened to me as the years went on, and I'll use an example about in my marriage. I found out that a lot of the times when we had conflict, it was miscommunication. The foundation of how we saw things were really similar, and most of the times when we had conflicts, not all, but most of the times when we had conflict, it was miscommunication. One of us, in some way or form, was not effectively communicating with the other person. So how we found this out was by listening, and it started with me. I first started to truly listen to hear my husband's side of the story, hear my husband's point of view, hear his reasoning behind why he felt the way that he felt. And over the years, we understood that most of the time, if there was an issue, it was because something was not said, enough information was not given. And that really improved our marriage. So it's very, very important to become an engaged listener. It benefits you as a communicator. It will benefit all of the relationships that you're in, both personal and professional. So the steps are to utilize your listening. Calm yourself, close your mouth tight, even when it wants to, tight. Fold your lips. I'm wearing red lipstick, so I'm not gonna fold my lips because it's gonna be a disaster. Fold your lips, put your hands at your side or clasp your hands, whatever you have to do, and calm yourself and listen. Skill number 2, pay attention to non-verbal signals. And 2 main non-verbal signals are body language and tone of voice, right? And this means for both yourself, the one you're communicating also, so you have to make sure that you pay attention to how you're carrying yourself, how you're moving your body and your tone, how you're speaking to the person. You don't want to be too aggressive if it's something that you're finding a solution in, and vice versa. So your tone of voice. I believe there is someone that said that you can always change or fix a miscommunication by changing the words, but you can never fix something that was being said if you use the wrong tone, right? So you can say, you know what, I'm so upset, and with that tone, and you say it another way, like, I'm so upset, and it's like that never leaves the person's memory, right, with how you did it. So we've got to control our body language, and also in the workplace, you have to remain professional. Sometimes you can be disrespectful. There are different cultures all over the world, and different people find different things as either being respectful or disrespectful. So carry yourself in a neutral manner when you're having these kinds of communication, so that you can always be at the head, or you can always benefit instead of have a negative reaction or something negative happen from you not carrying yourself the right way, not shaking and doing your head, or being too high in your tone when you're supposed to be low, or vice versa. Number 3, keep your emotions under control. Or another way to say it is just always practice to stay calm. And I know this is not easy for everyone, My mom always gives me a compliment. She's like, oh, Shelly, you know, you're always so calm. And she's like, I don't know how you do it. Deep inside, I'm like, I'm enraged. But I've practiced from being a leader and understanding that sometimes if you express yourself, your anger or your frustration or your negative emotion too quickly, sometimes the damage is like it's irreparable. So I've mastered just keeping my emotions under control and, you know, until the end, until I really need to let loose. If not, because it's helped me as an entrepreneur, it's helped me as an employer, as a wife, as a mother. I have kids. My daughter is 18 years old. You don't know the struggle, or maybe you do. But yeah, I have to keep my emotions under control. I have to stay calm because at the end of the day, I really want to maintain my relationships. I want to maintain my personal relationships and I want to maintain my professional relationships. So I'd rather stay calm and go through the length of the situation and then react appropriately, because sometimes when you're too quick in your emotion, you can cause a lot of damage. The fourth and final skill to master is to be clear and concise in your communication. And what that means is whatever your objectives are that you want to accomplish at the end of the conversation, you have to stay on target. You have to stay on track. So if the whole purpose of effectively communicating with that person is for them to understand that you're being fired, at the end of the conversation, it has to be clear as to the fact that they're fired and what are the reasons why and so forth. If it is to discuss something that happened and explain your point of view or your how you feel about that situation, at the end, the person should be able to list everything that you laid out, all the information that you gave. It was exchanged in a way that was clear and concise. And most of the times, the way to do that is to get out of your emotion and stay factual. Stay with real information, not just emotion. And you have to also stand your ground. When you're being clear and concise and sticking to your objectives, you have to stand firm. But you have to do all of this in a respectful way. You can say, that's not what I believe in, and you know, this is my point of view, and these are the reasons why I feel the way that I feel. And while I respect, you know, what you have to say, and I understand that we don't see the same thing, or we don't see eye to eye, this really is where I stand and this is my point. And you do it in a way where it's just respectful. Don't be disrespectful. Don't do things out of emotions. Don't do things out of grudge or spite. Be clear. Be concise. Carry yourself well. Speak out with facts and not emotion. And I guarantee that you will have success in your personal relationships. You will have success in your professional relationships. You will have success overall in life. People will want to use you in situations, you know, like, okay, and I'm going to use Charlene because, you know, every time she speaks to people, she speaks well. She can talk to anybody. She can represent us. She can pass on information in a way where she can reach people. I want you to be that person. I want you, when they speak about you, they're saying, you know, she speaks well. She communicates. She or him or he or they communicates effectively. Have a great day. And guys, remember, my point of doing videos is to serve you. It's to bring information that you need, that you find relevant. So if there's anything that you want me to speak on, I would love if you would comment below. Let me know the topics that are relevant to you right now in 2020. Also, share other ways that you utilize in your everyday life, both personal and professional, to effectively communicate. Again, have a wonderful day.